Hello, this is Maria Miller from mathmammoth.com, and this is Mathy, my mascot. Today we're going to talk about geometric transformations, in particular congruent transformations. And let's look at an example. It says that two figures are congruent if they perfectly match when one is placed on top of the other. Do you think these two doggies are congruent? We are going to ignore the colors, and I'm going to now show you that yes, we can place one doggy on top of the other and they perfectly match, they will be congruent. But to do that, I need to do some transformations. So I'm gonna select my doggy, and first I'm gonna flip him, like that. So that way, this darker color eye matches. And then, when I bring him over here, I can see that the one is turned over to its side, kind of. So I need to turn this one also, like that. Now it's turned over, or rotated. And then, once I move it over here, we can see that yes, I can make them perfectly match. So the doggies are congruent. One of the congruent transformations is a translation. And that just means that we move the figure without rotating it. So here we have Mathy. Hey Mathy, you got to be a part. And I have marked here a little purple dot here, a little point. So if I move a copy of Mathy so that this purple point moves to the end of this arrow. So now I have translated Mathy, this certain distance. And this is a congruent transformation. You can imagine that this original Mathy picture, if it was copied over here, they would exactly match. Now we're going to look at the rotation, another congruent transformation. The rotation always happens around a certain point, and that point can be any. Here, for example, I have a Mathy, and I have a point over here. I'm going to rotate Mathy around that point. When I take this handle and turn, he starts rotating around that point. But this point, like I said, it could be any point. I could move this rotation point, say over here, then he would be rotating around that point. If I move it inside Mathy, it still works. Here we have a triangle, and I'm going to show you how it rotates around point P. As I rotate it around point P, you can see that it's like it's moving around a circle, right? Now let me show you that there indeed is a circle involved. I'm going to draw a circle. So this blue point here, it travels around a circular arc over here in a rotation. And so does this red point, but it's a different circle. Its center is still P, but it has a larger radius. The red point moved around this circular arc over there in a rotation. Let's look at reflections. A reflection is like a mirror image. You've probably seen them before. And for any reflection, there's always a line of reflection. The figure is always reflected across a line or in a line. Here I have actually two lines, so we can now reflect Mathy across either one. First, I'm going to reflect Mathy in this horizontal line, like that. Now I'm going to take this reflected image and reflect it in this vertical line. Can you imagine where it goes? Like that. And then lastly, let's take this Mathy and reflect it in the horizontal line again, and it's gonna flip over there, like that. A neat figure, right? For Mathys. A reflection can happen in any kind of line. It doesn't have to be a horizontal or vertical line. Here you see an example where Mathy has been reflected in a kind of a slanted line, a generic line. So what actually happens in a reflection is that if we look at it point by point, see here's one point on Mathy, here's the purple point still. The distance of this point to the reflection line will be the same as the reflected point's distance to the reflection line. Let me show you what I mean. If I draw a line from this exact point so that it is perpendicular to the reflection line, whatever that distance is, then if I draw a line from here that is also perpendicular to the reflection line, then this distance here is the same as this one. And that is how a reflection is construed. The same happens here if I take the perpendicular distance from this point to the reflection line, and then the same from here, then those distances are the same. I'm going to show you now how to rotate this triangle around this point P so that this point A here maps onto point A prime. So it's going to turn here this way. We're going to use transparent paper to do that, which I have here. And then I also need a pin or thumbtack. I have a thumbtack. So My first task is to poke a hole in the transparent paper at this point P. It's right there. Okay. Now I can turn the paper and rotate. Next, I need to draw the triangle here, or the points, 3 points. I hope you can see. Here's my A, B, and C, the triangle. So I'll mark these points on the transparent paper. Now, holding the thumbtack, I will turn the paper until my point A matches this point A prime there. Okay. Now, at this point, I need to transfer these two, C and B, onto my actual drawing paper. And I'll do that by just poking real hard. Okay, now I can remove the paper. And you may not see these little poke holes, but I do. They're here and here. C prime and B prime. Now I'm gonna draw the sides of the triangle. There, it's ready. We have now rotated the triangle around point P. Now I have a question for you. What happens to these lengths, the side lengths, and to the angles in a rotation? In other words, for example, AC here, it's a certain length here. Will it be the same length here? Is it congruent? Is AC congruent to A prime, C prime? And the same for the other two sides. And then the angles, for example, is angle C congruent to angle C prime here? This is something you can investigate. You can do the similar exercise on your own papers. Or if you're following the Math Mammoth curriculum, in the lesson there is a very similar exercise for you to do. Okay, so happy investigating. Now I'm gonna quickly show you how you can reflect figures using transparent paper. Here we have a triangle and the reflection line. And imagine that this rectangle here is picturing a paper where you have drawn a triangle. And if you want to reflect it, it is extremely easy to reflect it using the paper. You just flip it and move it over to the other side of the reflection line, and the result will look like this. Okay, so this would be your paper again, but it's now flipped over and moved over here. Again, notice that these distances, like C, the perpendicular distance here is the same as the perpendicular distance here to the reflected point. Lastly, a little note about parallel lines, or a question for you actually. What happens to parallel lines in these different congruent transformations? Will they stay parallel? If I, for example, move or translate this line here, and then later translate this line the same way, will they stay parallel? Or if I rotate first one and then the other around this point P, what happens? Will they stay parallel? So here, for example, let's say we take this particular line and rotate it a certain amount, maybe over there, and do the same. First you need to move the point that it rotates around, right there, and do the same exact amount in degrees. All right, what do you think? It definitely looks like they are still parallel. And then the same question would be asked about reflections. If you have two parallel lines and you reflect them in some line, will they still stay parallel? That's something for you to investigate. If you're using Math Mammoth curriculum, then you will investigate this in the lesson. Okay, we're all done. I hope this was helpful.